What's up, you guys? Animated Heroes here, back with another Naruto Shippuden review, and this time it's over episode 481, Sasuke and Sakura. Now, this episode was interesting to say the least. Honestly, for the people who have already seen the backstory of Sasuke, the backstory of Sakura, I wouldn't even recommend this episode. The reason I watched it was simply because Sasuke is my favorite character. Everyone knows that. He's just my favorite anime character of all time. And the Sakura portion, I really didn't care for all that much, but I'm reviewing it just because I watched the episode, and I know some people probably want to know what happened, so yeah, this is my review of the episode. It starts off, you have Sasuke who's prancing around the house. He's upset, and you can tell by his movements. You got Itachi who's sitting down, and Sasuke gives one of the best quotes of this episode. He says, "You don't like me, do you?" And I don't know why, but I thought that was just so funny. He says, "You don't like me," and Itachi just gives him this look like, "You're my brother." And he says, "Well, how come you won't train me? How come you won't teach me kunai and shuriken jutsu?" And Itachi says, "I don't have the time." He does the little come here thing. Sasuke comes over and Itachi pokes him on the forehead, which we've seen probably 1,000 times in Naruto Shippuden. Itachi tells him that I will teach you when our parents leave. And then we find out in the next scene that his parents are actually leaving to go see his mother's family. And this is when it gets pretty interesting because, as we all know, Sasuke's father is not the nicest guy in Naruto Shippuden. In fact, he's not really nice at all. He never really acknowledges Sasuke. He never compliments him. He never boosts him up the way he does Itachi. But this episode, he's actually pretty nice to him, and it surprised me because Sasuke is telling them about how he wants to learn the jutsus and stuff and shuriken and kunai, and his mother says, "I could teach you." And then Sasuke makes this quick remark to her. He says, "Well, you could teach me, but basically it would be much better if my brother taught me." And Fugaku, who is surprised that Itachi's even going to teach him, actually made a very nice comment to him. He said, "You're doing good. I'm proud of you." And I don't know if that's in every version, but that's the one I watched. He said, "I'm proud of you." And I was surprised to see that because it's just Fugaku, we know he had a love for Sasuke, but he never really showed it up until close to it was time for his clan to be killed, pretty much. Anyway, the day after they leave, you got Itachi, who was actually teaching him how to use kunai. It was shuriken in the old one, I believe, but he was teaching him how to use kunai. And Sasuke is doing exceptionally well. Sasuke makes a comment saying that I'm actually better than Mother now. And then he says, "Well, check this out." And Itachi does this cool thing where he throws him along the side. He gets like three on one side, three on another, and then he hangs one by another. It was pretty awesome. I gotta give it to him. That was an awesome moment in this episode. And Itachi basically just, he didn't ruin Sasuke's confidence, but I mean, basically he could have, because it was just horrible how it's like, "Oh wow, you can do this, but let me show you how I'm just about to top you." I thought that was fun. Now, once they finish training, they're sitting outside, and Itachi somewhat explains to Sasuke what the Uchiha clan is all about. He says that the symbol is a fan, and a fan is what spreads fire, which is why I'm guessing the fireball technique is their main technique. And then we get to hear Sasuke's stomach starts growling, and Itachi says, "All right, well, I'm going to cook." And he doesn't cook a normal meal. I mean, this guy literally whips up a Thanksgiving dinner for a family, and it was a pretty big dinner. Now, one thing I will say was that it looked absolutely weird on two scenes of the dinner because he had this fish. It was in a bowl after he had cooked it, and then you see the mouth open up. I don't know if I was the only one who noticed that, but the mouth on the fish just opened up, and then he had a crab. And this thing was like real spiky. It looked uncooked, and it just looked like if you try to even grab this thing, you'll stab your finger or something. I don't know. I just thought the food looked really weird in this episode. Now, for the remainder of the Sasuke portion, after we see him eat dinner, he goes outside. He's sitting down. He says, "I'm stuffed now." And then we get Itachi who comes outside and he says, "All right, hey, how about we sleep outside tonight now that our parents are gone?" And Sasuke says, are you sure we can do that? Itachi says, yeah. And then we get to see Sasuke run back into the house as a kid and try to grab his sleeping bag. And Itachi tells him, don't run. And then we just hear a big thump sound and an owl from Sasuke. And I thought it was so funny because, like, as we all know, Sasuke, he's this real serious character who he is just 100% mellow all the time. But getting to see him as a kid, it's like, oh my God, he's adorable. He actually was a kid, and it honestly explains that the events, it kind of states that the events that happened to his clan really traumatized him. And this is something we all know, but getting to watch him as a kid, comparing the kid version of him to the adult version of him, we get to see just how much. Because as a kid, Sasuke was honestly just a little bit shy of being Naruto because they were kids, man. And honestly, I think Sasuke probably had those events not happen to him, he would have grown up to be a very different character. That being said, they sleep outside, and then their parents come home, and Itachi's gone. His sleeping bag is gone. It's just Sasuke. So it looks like Sasuke slept there by himself. Now, his dad says, what are you doing here? Sasuke tells him, Itachi said we could sleep out here. Where is my big brother? And he says, oh, well, I guess he's gone. And at that point, it ends the Sasuke portion and goes right on into the Sakura portion. Now, for the Sakura portion of this episode, it starts off, she's running in the forest. She has this little hideout, I guess you can say, in the forest. She has like dolls and stars and a whole bunch of flowers and stuff out there. I guess it's her own little place that she goes to just when she feels alone, maybe. I'm not sure, but she's out there and it shows her just looking around. And at that point, she goes home and she sees her father. Her father's telling her, hey, your bangs are completely covering your face. I think you should cut them. And then the mom says to him, it's not good to tell your daughter what to do. If you tell her to cut her hair in a way she doesn't want to, it's going to make her grow up to dislike you. And I'm watching this Sakura part, and honestly, I can't help but to think about how different Sakura actually looks from her parents. Now, her mom is beautiful, but her dad just looks weird. And I don't know. I mean, I understand they have to draw characters differently, but honestly, I think Sakura is probably the only character in Naruto Shippuden that I just don't see that child being made from those parents. Because you got Shikamaru. Shikamaru looks exactly like his dad. Kiba looks like his mom. Choji looks like his dad. Who else do we have? We have Rock Lee. Actually, I don't even think it showed Rock Lee's parents. I honestly think Mike Guy is Rock Lee's dad. It just never explained it. But anyway, Naruto looks like his dad. Sasuke looks like his mom. So just about every character looks like one of their parents. And then we got Sakura, who is probably adopted. Anyway, she goes back out, and this is where she meets up with Ino. Ino comes up to her. She has this bow. She says, you really shouldn't cover your forehead. You should be proud of it. And she says she's getting made fun of. And honestly, I think this is probably something that a lot of people could take from this show because basically it's saying embrace what you dislike about yourself, flaunt it, get comfortable with it, and therefore you don't have a problem. So for anybody that has something about themselves they dislike, embrace it. And honestly, I just feel like that was a learning point of this episode. I feel like that was absolutely really special. But anyway, she gives her a bow, she ties it up, she says you look beautiful, and they hang out a little bit more for the rest of the episode. And this is where Ino goes from a 10 as being a friend all the way down to a 0 because they end up back in that same spot. Sakura shows Ino her little spot in the forest, and Ino says, wow, it's really beautiful out here. The flowers are complementing everything. And then she says, is there a boy you like randomly? And Sakura says, yeah, I like Sasuke. And at that point, Ino just says, oh, well, I forgot something. I really need to go. And she just runs off and leaves Sakura. And honestly, it kind of made me hate Ino a little bit because I mean, I understand they're kids fighting over a guy, but these girls are fighting over a guy who doesn't even care about them. Like, Sasuke never acknowledged Sakura's existence until chapter 699. He never cared about Ino from what I know. Sasuke is the type to just care about who he cares about. And honestly, if you pay attention to Naruto, as the series goes on, he cares about Team 7 until he finally leaves for his revenge. And then it's like, nope, I don't care about anybody. and finally he comes back to caring for Naruto. But honestly, Sasuke doesn't care about them, and it's a pain to see them constantly going on and on and on and trying to do all this for Sasuke, and he just doesn't really care. The episode ends off right after they're in the academy, and Sakura tells Sasuke that she likes him, but I'm pretty sure he gave her an answer that she didn't like because she runs past Naruto, who only shows at that moment of the episode, and he says, "Wow, that girl is weird. We shouldn't be running in the hallway." Sakura goes out into the forest, and this is when we actually see her train for the first time as a kid. She's punching trees, and obviously she's not nearly as strong as she is in her adulthood, but she's training, and it's awesome. We get Naruto and Sasuke who's watching it, and at this moment we get to see she has developed the inner Sakura, which I think is what made a whole lot of people hate Sakura in the very beginning, because as we all know, inner Sakura is pretty annoying. I mean, we get tired of hearing that cha all the time. So, yeah, honestly, I think that's what made a lot of people hate Sakura in the first season. But I will say, I like her character in Shippuden. A lot of people call her useless. I don't say she's useless. She's just tactile in certain areas, because we have Naruto and Sasuke who are just battle ready, Sai who's battle ready, Yamato who's battle ready, and he's also helpful. Kakashi who's battle ready. We need a medical ninja, and Sakura is good at that. Sakura is definitely useful in my opinion throughout almost all of Shippuden. She's not as powerful as everybody, but she is useful. That being said, the episode was okay. I give it maybe a 6.5 out of 10. I don't know. It just really wasn't all that entertaining. Like I said, honestly, Sasuke is my favorite character, so that's why I watched it. And once his half was over, I should have just turned it off, but I said, well, whatever. I'm 15 minutes in. I might as well watch the rest and just go ahead and review it. Next week's episode is going to be Gaara and Shikamaru. I really like Gaara, and I kind of like Shikamaru. Like, I do like Shikamaru, but not really enough to just watch it. Who knows? I'll probably watch it and still review it as well. I mean, as long as we're not getting episodes like 1010 and Rock Lee or something, I probably won't watch those. Or Choji and Rock Lee, that would be terrible. But anyway, yeah, I'll probably check it out next week. I don't know. You guys will see if I do a review or not. But yeah, this episode was okay. And like I said, if you've already seen their flashbacks, I don't even recommend watching it really. It was kind of entertaining and kind of not. The Naruto and Hinata episode was just a whole lot better in my opinion. But yeah, 6.5 out of 10. And anyway, I hope you guys liked the review of Animated Heroes. Don't forget to like the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. I don't know why. Follow me on Anime Amino at animated_heroes, because I need more of you guys on there. And don't forget to follow me on everything you see listed in the description below. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.